All right, what's going on, everybody? So I wanted to encourage a lot of you. Many people are doing ministry. You're going out preaching the gospel. You're going out doing kingdom work, and you're wondering, why is it that I'm coming upon all these issues, this hate? You're coming upon these sufferings, these trials. And a lot of you really think that, man, I just want it to be a little bit easier. I want it to just be a smooth sailing. But I'm here to tell you, if you're doing something for the kingdom, if you're doing something for the glory of God, that you will go through some issues and some sufferings. And in 1 Peter 4, it says this, "Beloved, do not think it strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened to you. But rejoice to the extent that you partake of Christ's sufferings, that when his glory is revealed, you may also be glad with exceeding joy. If you are reproached for the name of Christ, blessed are you, for the Spirit of glory and of God rests upon you. On their part he is blasphemed, but on your part he is glorified. But let none of you suffer as a murderer, a thief, an evildoer, or as a busybody in other people's matters. Yet if anyone suffers as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify God in this matter." And so I'm here to tell you something. If you're suffering, if you're going through some issues, you don't know why it is that God led you down this path. You don't know why it is that seemingly with such a neutral ministry, with such an easy path to doing something, that you're still going through all these problems. I'm here to tell you that you should rejoice. You should not be ashamed, because God is allowing you to plant seeds. He's allowing certain causations, certain effects, certain consequences to happen for a reason, and you may not understand it. I do videos every day, guys, and for all my videos, I'll get people that are super blessed and I'll get people that are super angry. And so I have different reactions to my videos. But one thing is for sure, I'm always trying to plant, and I'm always trying to do things for God's glory and for his kingdom purposes. And so even if you go out and you're street preaching and you look like a fool, you're maybe rubbing people the wrong way, who knows? You may have planted a seed for which years down the line, the guy remembers, man, that dude on the street who preached the gospel to me, even though it was a little bit awkward and intrusive and he just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I thought about that. It may be some conversation you have about a sensitive topic. It may be something about the gospel, about the Bible, about some righteous act, about why it is that in the world you have to think about it from this perspective or from a biblical perspective, or why some things have to happen the way it does. Whatever that is, whatever that ministry, that conversation, that opportunity is, you may be doing something and it may look awkward. It may look like a bad thing. It may look like you just ruined somebody's day, but who knows what you did in the sense of planting in the spirit. And if you do nothing, if you sit there on your couch, you do nothing, then you're gonna literally get nothing for your fruit, because there's nothing that you took action on. But the Bible says here clearly, even if you don't know what the cause, the effect is, but if you're suffering and you're going through these trials, these issues, don't count it strange, but rejoice. And you have to not be ashamed about that. Don't second guess yourself. Don't sit there and think, man, I could have done this a little bit better. I wasn't perfect about this. Nobody's perfect, guys. But if you're sitting there and you're doing things, suffering for God's glory, and you're doing things that is not, of course, being a murderer or a thief or an evildoer or a busybody in other people's matters, but you're doing something for which you believe God has called you and he's tugging on you, and you're going out and doing these things in this time, then God, he's going to use that. It may not look like you have the fruit. It may not look like you had the positive reaction that you wanted, but God is using that for some reason. And so you got to realize that later on, when, as it says here, that his glory is revealed, whatever fruit, whatever positive circumstance, maybe not even in this lifetime you'll see, whatever that is, and his glory is revealed, you may also be glad with exceeding joy. And so because you planted, because you took action, because you suffered in the name of Christ, don't be ashamed. Don't think that it was fruitless. Don't think that it wasn't worth it, because God, he's going to use it for some purpose and reason down the line. And so that's why when his glory is revealed, you're showcasing God, you're showcasing Christ. And later on, your reward will come, but also that God, he's going to use that for his glory, and he's going to allow his spirit of glory and of God to rest upon you, as it says. And so be glad, be rejoiceful, be happy in this moment, because yeah, you might sit there, you might be frustrated, you might be anxious, you might be a little agitated. You don't know what's going on. You don't have all the answers. You don't know why it is that God allowed you to go through such a suffering, through such an issue. It may look uncomfortable for you, awkward for you, but God's using it for big things. And it's not always A to B to C. It's not a equal input to output, a causation and followed by some consequence that you believe is rational and it makes sense to you. No, it could be something completely different. You may have gone through a path for which you angered somebody, for which they actually veered off course even more, only for them to then rebound back harder for the Lord, for them to then argue and be upset, only for them to then come around and be that much more fervent, passionate for God. And so guys, you're doing things that you don't even know has a straight path. It may be a crooked path. And so rejoice. God's working all these things out. But if you sit there and you do absolutely nothing, you're gonna show for it by having nothing, no fruit. And so guys, be glad, be rejoiceful, be happy in this time. So God bless you guys. Love you guys. Talk to you guys very soon.